Good morning, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. Happy New Year. My name is Nick Fry. I'm the Manager of Business Development with Tourism Nova Scotia, and today's webinar covers maximizing engagement with social media contests and giveaways. If this is your first time visiting, Tourism Nova Scotia is a member of Communities, Culture, Tourism, and Heritage, and we work with communities and industry to attract visitors to the province and increase revenues and tourism businesses. And we do that through sector and experience development, business coaching, marketing, and visitor servicing. So again, thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions, please post it in the Q&A at the bottom. These webinars are so much more impactful and meaningful when we have engagement through questions. So we did get a lot of questions beforehand, so thank you for those that sent them in. Any links and resources, software we discussed during the webinar, please, don't go off and search for it now. We'll send you a link after the fact with links to that software so you can focus on the webinar while we're here. And if you have anything that you find relevant, you'd like to go back and review later, share with a colleague, or if you have to run, but you want to catch the end of the webinar, it will be live within roughly 24 hours, and we'll also send a copy in the email. So this webinar, I'm hoping you joined us through Digiport, and Digiport is a partnership with Digital Nova Scotia and Tourism Nova Scotia, the one-stop shop of educational services, interactive opportunities, the only of its kind in Canada. It's offered at no cost to you. It's an industry member, and you can access professional support and access to our program. So please check out Digiport. The link's there at the bottom. And if you have any questions about Digiport after the fact, let us know. And so excited to have Ingrid Dion back from WordCraft. Ingrid has presented multiple times on webinars. She's been with us at Digital Days. She's the CEO and founder of WordCraft. It's a social media marketing agency headquartered in Yarmouth. The specialty that this company brings is organic social media strategy, content creation, community engagement, and management. And they work with large corporations, Nestle and RBC, as well as small businesses across Canada and with tourism businesses in Nova Scotia. So we're happy to have Ingrid come back and tell us all the latest developments, things we need to know in this area. And without further ado, I'd like Ingrid to share her screen and share her knowledge with us. So thank you for joining us today, Ingrid.
Thank you so much, Nick. Thanks to all of Tourism Nova Scotia and Digital Nova Scotia as well for inviting me to present about one of my favorite topics, contests and giveaways. I'm very passionate about running contests and giveaways in an efficient and legal way on social media. So I'm excited to talk about this today. So we'll jump right into it. And if anyone has questions, just put them in the Q&A, and Nick can interrupt me at any moment and ask a question that one of you folks has. I'm happy to answer all of your questions as we go along, and I don't mind being interrupted. So if you have been running social media accounts, if you've been on social media at all, you know that most contests on social media are the like, share, and tag contests. These contests make me a little bit crazy. They're not my favorite by any means. I cringe when I see them. The advantage to these contests is that they get a lot of organic reach because you are asking other people to tag their friends. So you're getting visibility that way. You're asking people to share. And so you're getting a lot of visibility that way as well. So that's the one real big advantage to these types of contests. They get a lot of reach. They get a lot of eyes on your contest. The cons are that a lot of contesters will take part in these. So people who spend a lot of time just entering contests, and they're maybe not the people that you want to attract, because you're really trying to attract like genuine customers and people in your community to enter the contest. So you get a lot of contesters, and they will probably unlike or unfollow as soon as the contest is over. There's not a lot of lasting value to the content. Like you might have picked up a few more followers, you might have picked up a few more eyes on your content, but that's about it. And I think people are tired of these kinds of contests. They're just not interesting. I know when I see them, I'm like, I don't want to tag someone. It's kind of annoying. Like I get kind of annoyed when other people tag me in contests. I don't really want to share them. So I feel like they're a little bit tired. The other big con or disadvantage to these contests is that they do not comply with Facebook's regulations for contests. They go flatly against it. So when you run these kinds of contests, you are risking losing access to your Facebook account. And this is a screenshot taken directly from Facebook or Meta. And you will see in the second point, personal timelines and friend connections must not be used to administer promotions. For example, share on your timeline to enter, or share on your friend's timeline to get additional entries, or tag your friends in this post to enter are not permitted. So sharing to your stories or sharing to your timeline or tagging friends in the comments are not permitted for contests on Facebook. Instagram's rules are a little bit different. They don't have this rule. So those contests are compliant on Instagram, but on Facebook, they're not compliant. And we were just talking just before the webinar started about the recent announcement that Mark Zuckerberg made, saying that they won't be policing Facebook content, Meta content anymore, and they'll rely on the community to police. So they won't have the fact checkers and the people who are policing content. However, that is only applicable in the US. So outside of the US, there's still fact checkers and people policing Facebook and Meta and Instagram. So don't think that you're out of the woods because of the recent announcement. So this is don't run these like, share, tag kinds of contests on Facebook. You will see some other contests, and I see these especially with tourism operations, and they're a great idea in theory. The like take a photo and tag us contest. Now these are compliant. You're allowed to ask people to if it's a winter wonderland contest and you want people to take photos of their favorite winter activity because you're an eco tour kind of company, and yeah, you want to have maybe a bunch of content that you can use in the future of people doing fun outdoor activities in Nova Scotia in the winter. Great idea, getting people to take photos, tag you, and every photo that they take and tag you is an entry. The only issue is that the barrier to entry is a little bit high. So people are not as likely to enter these kinds of contests because there's more effort. There's a lot of, it's not a whole lot of work, but you do have to take a photo, you do have to tag the company or the organization or the business. And we find that the higher the barrier to entry, the less likely people are to enter. So your contests won't reach as many people. You really want to strive to make your contest as easy to enter as possible in order to get the most uptake, the highest number of entries. So while these kinds of contests are a great idea, just beware, unless you're a very large brand, like we've done these kinds of contests with some of the Nestle brands. Drumstick did the Own the Cone contest when I was working with them, and that was fun. A lot of people posted photos of them with their drumstick cone, but that's because it's a huge brand. And smaller brands usually don't have as many people entering their contest if the barrier to entry is a little bit higher. So here's what I'm proposing: the comment-based contest, or CBC for short. It is something that I have been doing for many years. I started running these kinds of contests at the agency where I used to work before I started WordCraft. And they have been wildly successful. The barrier to entry is low. You get a lot of payoff and a lot of eyes on them. So let's talk about the comment-based contest. So what is it? So the premise is you ask a question in your caption and the entrants answer the question in the comments. So every answer is an entry into the contest. Ask a question that will help you gain some insight into your followers or your audience's habits or preferences. So we were doing these with Manulife Bank for a number of years. Every month we asked a question and gave away 5 $200 Visa gift cards. They were wildly successful. They were completely organic, so we didn't boost them at all. And we would get upwards of a 50% engagement rate. Now, what does that mean? That means that 50% of the people who saw the post actually entered, which is kind of unheard of. They were very, very successful. The barrier to entry is low. You just have to answer a question. And you, as the business owner, get some value out of it because you're learning about your audience's preferences, thoughts, insights, recommendations, whatever. It is great. So we would always ask a question that would help us gain some kind of knowledge. Sometimes they were fun, like this one. You can see this example. What's the first thing you ever bought with your own money? That one was just kind of fun. Got a lot of cute little anecdotes. But we've done some where we ask people, what's one service that you wish your bank offered that that your bank doesn't offer currently? What would make you switch to a different bank? Things like that help us gain real insight into what the consumer is thinking. So I have a few examples of questions that you can ask if you're running a CBC, a comment-based contest. And I sort of broke it down by different tourism operators. If your tourism operation is not here, just feel free to ask in the chat and we'll brainstorm some ideas of some questions on the fly. So if you own an accommodation, an example of a couple of examples would be maybe what's the most memorable surprise and delight moment you've experienced at a hotel or vacation rental. So this could give you some ideas as to like just fun little touches that you could add to your accommodation that might really delight people. And what's one thing you wish every hotel room had? Again, just like coming up with some ideas about what people really want to see when they're going to a vacation rental or a hotel or a motel. If you own a restaurant, what's one menu item you wish we offered? So this is great for brainstorming new menu items. And everyone loves to give their opinion. So that's another reason that the CBCs work so well. People just are like delighted when they can give their opinion. So that's fun too. And what's your go-to order at a restaurant? That's a fun one. It helps you figure out, I mean, you probably already have data about what your most popular dish items are, but maybe when other people are scrolling through the comments, they're seeing what people are ordering and maybe it'll get them to try that next time. A few more examples. If you own an ecotourism company, so what's your dream eco adventure activity? Again, could help you brainstorm some new ideas. What's one thing you always pack on an eco tour? Kind of a fun example. And if you own a museum or you work at a museum, what's your favorite hidden gem in our collection? So that might be fun. A way to come up with some ideas of some different artifacts that you could highlight. And who's your favorite local historical figure? Just another example. Yeah, I see Gabriel Harding is saying take a picture of your favorite part of our maze. So I would say instead of take a picture, because the barrier to entry is a little bit high there, just comment. What's your favorite part about our maze? So if people have been there before, what's your favorite element?
Filters. Yeah. Somebody else
Um,
said, who's your favorite sculptors in Nova Scotia?
yes, who are your favorite sculptors in Nova Scotia? Yeah.
Okay, so we're
That's
officially
fun.
back.
And you could even ask people, if you've been to another art maze or another outdoor art exhibit, what was something that you saw that you thought was really cool? And that could maybe give you some ideas for future things to add to the maze if you are adding to it. Yeah. So maybe those are a few ideas. Awesome. All right. So I promised that we talk about avoiding spam and bots. So let's get into that. I have a few tips on how to do that. So the first tip is plan to have spammers and bots take over your contest. It's a problem that we're seeing all the time. It's a super annoying problem, but it's a problem. And if you've run a contest or a giveaway on social media, you've probably experienced it. So I would say avoid trigger words like contest, giveaway, win in the caption, in this part of your post, because these spammers and these bots are crawling Facebook and Instagram, and they're looking for those trigger words, those keywords. And if they see them, then they are going to jump onto your contest like crazy. I would especially avoid any hashtags that have contest giveaway or something like that in them. Those are like dead giveaways that you're running a contest and it's open season for bots to come and try and hijack your contest. So instead, I would put one of those words in the graphics. They will have a harder time finding those words in the image than they will in the caption. So there are ways of searching images for words. It's just it's more labor intensive, and these bots are lazy, and so they're just looking mostly in the caption. So put those words in the graphic. The other advantage to putting those types of words in the graphic is that it helps stop the scroll, because people will see it's clear that you're running a giveaway. Yes, I want to enter. How do I enter? So they will help you get more people to enter your contest or your giveaway. Enable notifications on your social media accounts so you can notice the spammers right away. I know maybe some of us who are moderating multiple social media accounts, you might disable your notifications because you get a lot of them. And especially if you're running a contest, you're going to get a lot of notifications because a lot of people are going to be commenting on your comment-based contest. So you will get a lot of notifications, but keep them on because you want to be able to notice if there's a spammer or a bot that's trying to take over your contest. And when I say like spammers, bots that are trying to hijack your contest, if you've never run a contest before, what I mean exactly is they will start responding. They might spoof your account, so they might take over your logo and they will pretend that they're you. Sometimes they won't, but they'll pretend that they're you. They'll change their name to your company's name or something like it, and they'll answer. They'll post responses to all of the comments if they can, if you don't stop them. And they'll tell people, "Oh, you've won. Click this link to get more information or something, or to claim your prize." And they'll have this really spammy link. And when people enter, they're asked for like a credit card number or something crazy like that. And people will do it because people think that they've actually won, because they're trying to spoof your account. So that's usually what we see. There are other ways that bots and spammers will try to get people's personal information, but that's one of them. And it's super annoying. And so if you've enabled your notifications, usually these bots and spammers will comment many times really fast. And so you'll notice you'll get like a whole ton of notifications all of a sudden. That's a dead giveaway that you are being that someone's trying to take over your contest and is trying to scam your entrants. So hop right onto it. As soon as you see it, block them, delete their comments, and nip it in the bud as soon as you see it, because you don't want those people to start trying to scam your customers. You don't want your customers to be giving their credit card information to these scammers. So I hope that's all clear. That's how we try to avoid spammers and the bots. Okay, so talking about how to choose a winner. So I will often see people running a contest and then they will write down all of the entrants, the contestants' names on pieces of paper, and they'll put them in a hat, and then they'll post a video where they're pulling out a winner from the hat and they'll show it, and that's how they reveal who won. That is fine if you have all the time in the world, you have like lots of spare time and you want to do that, go for it if you want to do that. I don't have a whole lot of spare time, so I want to do it as quickly and efficiently as possible. And so this is how I do it. So I'm saying don't write down each contestant's name and choose a winner unless you really want to and you have time to kill. Instead, here is the quick and efficient way of doing it that I use. So I will show in the presentation, I have some screenshots to show you, but I'll also show you in real time, just so that you can see how the whole thing works, because it's kind of hard to explain sometimes. So the first thing you want to do is to go to your contest post and copy the link of that post. So if it's on Facebook, this is the workflow. So we're just taking an example here. If this was your contest post, you would click the share button and then copy link. So that will copy the link to your clipboard. And then you'll go to a website called exportcomments.com. And so this is the website, and you just put the link right here. So you just paste it right in there and you start the export process. So this will create an Excel file. Oh, it's asking me to show them all the bridges. The bridge. I don't know if that's a bridge or not, so we'll try that. Okay, so it's going to put all of the contest entries, all of the comments into an Excel file. So it's going to be neat and tidy, and we won't have to write down everyone's name. So this is the first time saver. It's doing its little thing. The one caveat is that if you have more than 100 comments, you have to pay in order to export. But it's like $11 or something, to me, small price to pay to get someone to put all of the comments from my contest into an Excel file and make my life easier. So you can download the Excel file. You can also download it as a CSV if that's what you prefer. We'll download as an Excel file, and then I will open it into a Google Sheet. Or if you don't use Google, if you use another thing, then you can upload it or open it in a different way. But I am going to open it into a Google Sheet because I don't use the actual Microsoft Excel. Okay, so all of the comments are in the Excel file, so that's great. Then the next step is to go to this website called random.org. And so it will give you a random number and you pick the minimum and the maximum. So I will go to my spreadsheet and I'll see that number 1 is number 8 here. I mean, you could start with number 1 here. Since they're numbered, they didn't used to be numbered. But number 1, and then number 31 is the last one. So I will pick a random number between 1 and 31, generate, tells me number 20. So 20 is the winner. So that's how we determine who won. And that's exactly how long it takes. Pretty darn easy. So yes, random number. So that responds to the winner. Does that make sense? Has everyone understood that, hopefully? That's how I choose a winner, and it just takes a few moments, as you noticed. Super fast, super easy. So some legal considerations, unless there's any questions. Meta has its contest rules. You can find them, both Instagram and Facebook have them. So Facebook contest rules, I can share these links. But this is the one for Facebook. And this is where it says that you can't use share on your timeline, share on your friend's timeline, or tag your friends. Instagram contest rules, promotion guidelines are here. So yeah, sorry.
When you have, we just got a few questions coming through, so whenever you're ready to, I know you're
Okay.
on this now, but let me know.
Awesome. Okay, so I'll share these links with everyone afterwards so that you have like the actual rules. But yeah, go ahead with the questions.
And if you already answered them, apologies. So this one, Paul Curry said in our contest, we also make it clear to folks how we will announce the winner. Spammers tend to do it in the comments. We will announce it in a separate post or edit the original. Is this a good idea?
Yep, that's a great idea. Exactly. Completely agree. I have it in I think my next slide.
Perfect. How necessary is this promotion is in no way sponsored, endorsed, administered, or by or associated with Facebook or Instagram sentence in the caption?
It is essential. According to the rules for both Facebook and Instagram, you have to acknowledge that the contest is in no way sponsored, endorsed, administered, or administered by or associated with Facebook or Instagram.
And then Paul kind of had two questions. This kind of said, what if the contest is on Facebook and IG at the same time? Would you get the two lists and then combine them in Excel?
Yeah, that's what we usually do. We will export the comments from the Facebook post and we export the comments from the Instagram post. And usually we will copy from one spreadsheet into the other so that they're all in the same spreadsheet and then choose that way. Yep. And actually it's in this slide here. These are just things to include in your caption. So as we were talking about, the acknowledgement that the contest is not sponsored, endorsed, administered by, or associated with Facebook/Instagram, whichever one or both, that must be in your caption. You should also talk about what the beginning dates and the end dates are of your contest. You should mention any participation restrictions, whether it's only open to people in Nova Scotia or not open to people in Quebec because their rules are different, or only open to people in Canada or only open to people over the age of 18, whatever it is. If there's any restrictions, mention those in the caption. The prize details, what you are giving away, that should be in the caption. How to enter the contest. So if you're running a comment-based contest, it is comment below or let us know. You ask the question, then you say, let us know, and you could be the lucky owner of a free stay here or a gift basket or whatever it is. And how and when the potential winners will be chosen. So like the previous question asked, you should say we'll choose a winner on such and such a date at such and such a time, and we'll announce winners by whether it's by responding to your comment or with in another social media post or in our stories, however you plan to announce it. So those are the things that you should consider putting in your caption. And then I have a few more legal considerations. You might want to mention this isn't, you don't need to have this in your caption, but no purchase necessary is usually a requirement, just by Canadian law. And then you also, and again, not necessary, but you might want to have official contest rules. And we've done these on some occasions with some clients, and sometimes we don't use them. So it depends on your preference, what your appetite for risk is. Um, if it's a contest where you're giving away cash, or maybe it's like an experience or a stay, and you want to just have some extra legal insurance around the giveaway, you might want to have some official rules. So I've put a link in here of an example, and this is an example that we used when we did contests with Manulife Bank. So there's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo in here, but it's a great template to use if you want that extra protection. And it just kind of outlines what you're giving away, who's eligible, what the contest period is, how to participate, the odds, the random draw, when that will take place, privacy policy, liability, all of that fun legal stuff. So think about it. I don't think that every contest, especially if you're, giving away a ticket to the museum or something like that, like I wouldn't bother with a whole lot of these really big official rules. But if you're giving away something a little bit more substantial, then maybe consider it. And you might also want to consider a winner release form. And this will protect you again from any liability. So you can outline your winner release form will be sort of a shorter version of those official rules. Just an outline of what is included in the prize. You should have a skill testing question in it. You should have an acknowledgement that the winner is accepting the prize. They should confirm that they're eligible. You might, especially if it's an experience or a stay at a destination, you might want to say that the winner agrees that the company can use its name, photograph, video for promotions. So if they are coming to accept their prize winning, and you take a photo of them saying that, this was the lucky winner, we're so excited to have them here. It just a release form where they're giving their permission to have their photo or video or likeness used in a social media post. You might also want to consider having a clause where they're releasing the company of any injuries, accidents, costs, liabilities, losses, damages, and expenses relating to the prize. That is also just a little bit more protection, a little bit of insurance there. And then they should sign the winner release form and also have it witnessed by someone else. So those are just some extra legal considerations. But again, if you're just giving away something small, a gift basket or a free pass to the maze or something like that, I wouldn't worry about having the big official rules and the winner release form and everything. Were there some more questions, Nick?
Let's see.
Oh,
I've always wondered why a skill testing question is necessary.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's apparently necessary for it, according to Canadian law, for giveaways. So we have both done them and not done them. Again, if it's like a bigger contest, if we have a winner release form, we always have the skill testing question in the winner release form, but I honestly don't know why that is. Because you can just use a calculator. It's not really testing anyone's skill. But yeah, that's a great question. So I think that's the end of my presentation, but I'm happy to take more questions. If you want me to go over anything again, I know I tend to speak really fast and get really excited, and yeah, happy to address any other questions that folks have.
We gotta thank you, very helpful. And if
Okay.
anyone else has any questions, let me know. And I think that we also learned today that Zoom has some new features that we need to figure out. So I think you can kind of toggle between
Yeah,
presenter screens. That's fun.
that is fun.
And we'll work through that.
Yeah.
All right. So I will just, unless a question pops up, if anything if you have anything that pops up after the fact, let us know, and we'll make sure that we get that out to you. So I'm going to
For
take
sure.
that.
And if people have follow-up questions, they can always book a one-on-one with me through Digiport, and it's completely free. So feel free to do that and ask me your questions about social media.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, well, thank you, Ingrid, as usual, very helpful, relevant information, and thank you for helping us learn about the new Zoom features. So that's fun. Yeah, so
Oh, there
have a
is one
great
more
day.
question. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's great.
Yeah, Gabriel is asking what other platforms do you think are good for contests? So I think you can run social media, like we've mostly talked about Facebook and Instagram, which are mostly where a lot of the social media contests are happening. But you could run them on any other social media platform, YouTube, TikTok. I haven't seen a whole lot of contests run on LinkedIn. Um, but the former, if you're still on Twitter X, a lot of us aren't there anymore, but that is also an option. And a lot of the different platforms have their own rules. They're very similar to the same rules that Meta has. And so I would just, you can do a quick Google search with contest, the name of the platform, YouTube contest rules, and you'll see that the contest rules are pretty similar in every different platform.
See, another question, maybe? Oh, no, just people thanking. A lot of good thank yous, a lot
Okay,
of
fun.
positive feedback. So thank you so much, Ingrid. If anything pops up after the fact, we'll connect you with the question and we'll get them the answer.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, Ingrid. Have a good one. So we're just going to wrap up here now and let you know our next webinar is going to be Thursday, February 6th at 10. It's going to be using AI to analyze the effectiveness of social media campaigns, and it's presented by Agility Hub. So that's Melissa with Agility Hub, and she has presented before as well as at Digital Days. So looking forward to that one. We'll see you on February 6th. And the Export Travel Trade is an open program. It's streamed to, currently accepting applications. It's open until March 31st, 2025, or until it is fully subscribed. So please check that out. If you have any questions on it, let us know. All of our previous webinar recordings are found at tourismns.ca/webinar-series. It's on YouTube, it's on Digiport. So a lot of places to find it. Just put it into Google and you can find your way there. If you have any ideas or questions or anything related to webinars, if you think there's an idea that we should cover, please send us an email at tnsbusiness@novascotia.ca. Our corporate website is tourismns.ca, and any news and resources, programming, webinars will be found there under news and resources. We are on X at tourismns. We are on corporate LinkedIn at Tourism Nova Scotia. And our consumer website, where we send our visitors to, our call to action is novascotia.com. And if you have any questions, again, please share them with us. I hope you enjoyed today's webinar and hope you have a wonderful day.